My name is Melissa. I had the full gastric bypass in September of 2022. My starting weight was 95 kilos, and my current weight is 62.3 kilos. My life before surgery was one filled with increasing health issues. I wasn't even 40 at the time. I was suffering from sleep apnea. My knees hurt, my hips hurt. I was constantly tired. I was suffering from a horrible relationship with food, very little physical activity because I was so big. And I just was starting to withdraw from my social life. I'd always been a very social, outgoing person, and I found myself canceling plans with friends, wanting to spend more time at home. Obviously, this also happened during the pandemic years. So all of this forced isolation, this retreat within myself, it was just a very lonely, hard time. The turning point for me when I really made the decision to look into Weight Loss Riga more seriously was on a weekend trip to Paris with my husband and some friends. And for those of you who visited Paris, you know these cobblestone roads, these uneven streets, just walking around the city during the day was so uncomfortable. And I was in so much pain by dinner time that I was sad and really depressed, because here you are in this beautiful city and you can't even enjoy it. And that was the moment I said to myself, I don't want to live like this anymore. And after years of yo-yo dieting, therapy, and looking through all these conventional methods to try to achieve weight loss and satisfaction, I thought, you know what, I need a tool. I need something that's really going to jumpstart all of this so that I can be in control and get my life back. So prior to committing to the surgery, I did a lot of research to understand what my options were. Living in Germany, obviously there are great surgery centers here and great doctors that can perform this, but cost was clearly a big driving factor for me, as well as safety and standards. And being a native English speaker, I was not comfortable going to countries outside of the EU where maybe English was not a very predominant second language that would be spoken in the operating rooms or even between the medical staff. And just making sure that the standards were one that would be comparable to something you could receive in the UK, continental Europe, or even in the US, where I'm originally from. And one thing that really caught my attention with Weight Loss Riga is the fact that a large percentage of the patients who use Weight Loss Riga are English speaking, and the fact that they partner with a clinic in Riga who was previously aligned to, I believe, the NHS and follows EU standards, especially when it comes to modern bariatric procedures and standards. That was very important to me. My experience with the communication and patient support with Weight Loss Riga from start to finish can be described only as extremely positive. From the moment I sent in my first online consultation request form, I received a WhatsApp, we set up a meeting, we were able to talk through a lot of the initial questions. And then, of course, the entire process of setting the date, of making all of the payments, that was also done through email or WhatsApp. And I found that responses were done very quickly. And by quickly, I mean, a handful of hours to within 24 hours. I never felt like I was chasing anybody, which was very important because, this is major surgery and you want to feel like you're being taken care of. Once I landed in Riga, of course, the on-site or location support was amazing in terms of the communication via WhatsApp, or even just getting in touch with us prior to the transfer from the hotel to the clinic. I never, ever at any point felt like I was by myself. Even after the fact, I was able to reach back via email, or I would get routine follow-up questions. How are you doing? Do you have any other questions? And I have to add, I actually came down with COVID right before my initial scheduled date, and the support to help reschedule my operation, I think twice, was fantastic. There was never this feeling of stress or pressure or guilt. It was, we'll work with you, we'll make this happen, let's see what we have. And for that, I'm very, very appreciative and thankful. So my recovery post-op, and again, I had the full gastric bypass, was Thankfully, very, very easy. I was one of the lucky ones that did not have any complications other than the routine healing time of about 4 to 6 weeks where I refrained from heavy lifting, major activity, and really tried to rest and allow my body to recover from the surgery. What I can say is for me, it was so crucial to have this WhatsApp support group that we set up pre-op, where all of us could come together and share what we were going through, trade stories and ideas on what we were eating or not eating, where we were ordering our protein powder from. The other thing that I think is so beneficial, and I cannot stress this enough, is taking advantage of the nutritionist offer and working with the nutritionist that was highly recommended by Weight Loss Riga, and having that ability to connect with her anytime in addition to scheduled calls, which was also one other area of support that I think is often overlooked, because the surgery is just that one piece, but having somebody that I could go to right away to help me understand, why am I feeling this way? Why is this triggering that? Or why does this make my stomach feel upset? Or why am I laying down crying? She was indispensable. And to me, she was worth every cent. My life post-surgery, and having gone through the whole journey of the year of losing, and now in the maintenance stage, um, has completely changed my entire outlook, both from a health perspective, but also just from my own self-confidence, self-worth, um, and social side. So from the health side, I no longer have sleep apnea. I don't use a CPAP machine anymore. I was able to send that back within 6 months, after surgery. My knees don't hurt. I find myself wanting to be more physically active because I don't hurt anymore. I love to go on walks with my dog now. And then, of course, just people have started commenting that I just seem happier, that I seem brighter, that I want to engage more. I want to go out more, be out amongst people. I find that I'm not sad. I'm not wanting to withdraw and be by myself. My husband has also mentioned that it's been a lot of fun with me over the last year. And not that I wasn't a fun person before, but maybe whatever those feelings that were associated with guilt and this self-negativity, a lot of that is gone and has been replaced by this optimism about what more can I do now. And I think that is something really positive and really exciting. I think the community that Weight Loss Riga has facilitated for patients, alumni, or those thinking about it has been a tremendous constant throughout my entire journey. Being part of the face group pre-surgery really helped to inform my decision that Weight Loss Riga was the right place for me. And also because the moderation is not, only to display the positive and the best and the bright, but also to allow those who are suffering through complications or who have dealt with adversity or whatever, right? It's meant to be sort of all-encompassing, all-inclusive, so that people can make a truly informed decision. The WhatsApp group was also super key, just to have that support and both positive, to share positive and negative emotions and experiences throughout the journey. Somewhere about the 6-8 month mark, I found the Facebook group. Was sort of the point where my role was shifting as becoming from information, but being one to offer information. And now I have to admit, I'm not as active as some others in the Facebook group, but I do notice that I come in because I do want to share, look, this is what's worked for me. This is how I'm managing post-op. These are some resources that have helped me. Also, just some of the resources in the group I like to refer out, because those are people who have been so instrumental in helping my journey. So I think all of that has been so instrumental and so important. If I could offer any advice to anybody who might be on the fence, or maybe they find themselves not being supported in this decision from immediate family or close friends, it's to take a step back and think about, who are you doing this for? Are you doing it for them, or are you doing it for you? Um, I know that when I was making this decision, I only consulted or confided my decision in a very small handful of trusted people, because at the end of the day, I wasn't necessarily making this decision because of some outward consequence. I was doing this for me because I wanted to be healthier. I wanted to be around longer. I wanted to make a difference. And maybe your reasons are because you want to be there for your children, or you want to be there for some family members, or whatever those reasons are. There will be people from the outside that will constantly um, challenge your decision because either they don't understand it, maybe they're just envious because you're courageous enough to make a decision that they themselves could never make. Um, but I think only you can make that decision for yourself. And just know that even if your partner, your friend, your family doesn't support you, you have all of us. And we will be here to take you through this journey from step one to step maintenance, just as somebody did for me.